I am here to present Executive Order 17-H, which reinstitutes the strict border restrictions under Section 8 of Executive Order 17, Series of 2020. If you would recall, we had instituted strict border restrictions way back in May 19th of 2020, where the entry of persons into the province of Cebu was severely restricted, and those that were allowed entry needed to secure passes from the Cebu provincial government, and the vehicles as well as cargo trucks also needed to secure such passes. We will be reinstituting that because since May 19th, after Cebu City and the province of Cebu became of the same classification, which was GCQ, we had lifted such restrictions. That was lifted June 3. However, due to the difference in classification, ECQ ang City of Cebu, GCQ ang province of Cebu, and further to stop the spread of the number of positive cases, for we had witnessed a steady rise in the positive cases, especially in those LGUs that were contiguous or quite near to the City of Cebu, to further stop the rise of cases and to contain the problem of the high incidence of positive cases, to contain it right here in Cebu. We will be reinstituting these border controls. And so, adopting Section 8 of Executive Order 17, I shall read the following. Section 8, restriction on entry into the province. No person shall be allowed entry into the territorial jurisdiction of the province of Cebu as defined by the borders of the city of Mandaue in the north, the city of Talisay in the south, the municipality of Balamban in the west, except the provincial governor, vice governor, and board members, justices of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, Court of Tax Appeals, and Sandigan Bayan. For this, only the official identification card of their office shall be presented at checkpoints. The Ombudsman and Deputy Ombudsman, only the official identification card of their office shall be presented. Congressmen from the province of Cebu, Cebu City, and the Lone District of Lapu-Lapu City, only the official ID shall be presented. Judges of the regional, metropolitan, city, and municipal trial courts, only the official ID shall be presented at checkpoints. The skeletal workforce of the regional, metropolitan, city, and municipal trial courts, the official ID of their office, and the Cebu provincial government pass shall be presented. Regional and provincial directors of national government agencies, only the official ID. Heads of the different bureaus of the national government, only the official identification card. The skeletal workforce of the following national government agencies and bureaus: the DILG, the LTO, the LTFRB, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of Education, Bureau of Internal Revenue, Bureau of Immigration, and the Bureau of Customs. Government agencies not included in this list may be given an exemption by the governor. The skeletal workforce will have to present the official identification card and the Cebu provincial government pass at every checkpoint. mayors and vice mayors of the municipalities and component cities of the province of Cebu. The official identification card shall be presented. Employees of the provincial government of Cebu. The official ID of the Cebu provincial government shall be presented. Employees of the municipalities and component cities of the province of Cebu as authorized by the concerned local chief executive. The authority of the local chief executive shall clearly state the purpose of their travel, the official identification card of their office, and the document granting authority to travel shall be presented at every checkpoint. Prosecutors of the Department of Justice, only the official ID shall be presented. The skeletal workforce of the prosecutor's office, the official identification card, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass. Officials of the Department of Health, Bureau of Quarantine, and their staff, only the official ID of their office shall be presented. Private and government doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals, their PRC license, and a hospital identification card or certification from a hospital shall be presented at checkpoints. Hospital workers, administrative staff, and janitors, the official identification card of their office shall be presented. For janitors, the official identification card of their office and a certification from the hospital to which they are assigned must be presented at checkpoints. The skeletal workforce of the Philippine Red Cross, the official ID, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented. Media personnel accredited by the Provincial Government of Cebu, the official ID of their office, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented. Members of the PNP, AFP, Philippine Coast Guard, and other security personnel including private security, only the official ID of their office shall be presented. Field personnel of energy, electricity, fuel, and petroleum, and other related entities, the official ID of their office and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented. Moreover, a job order, a travel order, or any other document from their office stating the purpose of their travel shall be presented at every checkpoint. Field personnel of the Visayan Electric Company, the official identification card of their office, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented at every checkpoint. Moreover, a job order, a travel order, or any other document from the VECO stating the purpose of their travel shall also be presented at every checkpoint. Field personnel of the Metropolitan Cebu Water District, the official identification card of their office, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented. Moreover, a job order, a travel order, or any other document from the MCWD stating the purpose of their travel shall also be presented. Field personnel of the PLDT, Globe, Smart, Sun, and other telcos, the official identification card of their office, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented at every checkpoint. Moreover, a job order, a travel order, or any other document from their office stating the purpose of their travel shall also be presented at every checkpoint. Officials and employees of banks and money transfer establishments, the official identification card of their office, and the Cebu Provincial Government Pass shall be presented. Lawyers in the private practice, but only to attend scheduled hearings in the different municipalities and component cities of the province, as well as for those who will provide legal representation necessary to protect the rights of persons under custodial investigation, to bail, and to counsel during inquest proceedings. For these lawyers, their integrated Bar of the Philippines membership card and an order or resolution from the court that reflects their scheduled hearing shall be presented at the checkpoints. Delivery personnel of vehicles carrying cargo and other essential goods with or without load. Maximum of 2 persons, including driver, subject to the observance of strict protocols. Aside from the cargo vehicle pass, a delivery receipt or any other similar document must be presented at each and every checkpoint. Persons with pre-existing medical conditions that necessitate treatment in a medical facility, a certificate from the local chief executive of the local government unit having jurisdiction over his or her residence must be secured, as well as a medical certificate. Persons involved in accidents and medical emergencies. 1 member of the family or household and a driver may accompany said person. Personnel working in funeral parlors who shall facilitate the transport of the deceased to their final resting place for burial. The exemption shall extend to the immediate family members of the deceased, officiating priests, imams, pastors, and other religious ministers. For this purpose, a certification from the governor or her duly appointed representative must be secured. Permission shall also be secured from the local chief executive of the local government unit having jurisdiction of the final resting place of the deceased. At any given time, excluding direct family members, there shall be only 10 persons in the funeral service. Strict social distancing shall be observed at all times. Other exemptions shall be subject to the approval of the governor. The passes issued by the provincial government shall bear the signatures of the governor at the front, the signatures of the provincial administrator, and the governor's chief of staff shall be indicated at the back. The Philippine National Police will be provided with the approved list of persons issued provincial passes. Executive Order number 17-D, series of 2020, is hereby revoked. This executive order shall take effect at 12:01 a.m. of June 26, 2020, so ordered. Done in the provincial capital, the city of Sugbo, Philippines, on June 23, 2020. Signed, Gwendolyn F. Garcia, Governor. Questions?
One of the concerns kay those private workers na kinahanglan mo tabok sa Cebu City, like for example katong mga supermarkets, mga cashiers nga, like for example from Cordova, unya nagtrabaho o grocery market sa Talisay City, which is an allowed establishment nga mo operate. Allowed ba sila basta makakuha lang security pass or kanang travel pass from the capital?
They will have to apply, and that will be very, very strict. They will be given a transit vehicle pass. So it's just point to point. Asa na to? Kanino? So specific. But I don't think daghan kaini sila. I think the biggest concern is those workers that are coming from our towns or the city of Talisay that are actually working here, kay allowed manggihapon ang essential nga services to open, which means supermarkets, groceries, supermarkets and groceries, mga pharmacies, and even government agencies that have their offices in Cebu City. We have served notice already. In the case of these workers that are employed in these supermarkets or bakeries, pharmacies, and other essential services, they will have to choose, as I already announced about 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago. You have to choose whether you will stay here or you have until tonight to go back to your local government unit. Okay, we will no longer allow, as we had previously allowed, they're coming to the city to work, then going back every afternoon, back to their own families and to their own communities in the province. Effective midnight tonight, we can no longer allow that. Now, for all other cases where they would need to traverse Cebu City, coming from any of our local government units in the south and going to the north, they would need to secure a vehicle, transit vehicle pass. Mao ni. It is presumed kay wa man ni public transport dire. So it's presumed na sila vehicle. They would have to secure a transit vehicle pass, and we will issue that. It comes complete with a control number, ang plate number, and the validity period. Like for this was only valid June 5, 2020. So di ni pwede balik-balik o gamit. They'll have to secure on a daily basis. This is the skeletal pass, no? Skeletal force pass. And this is the media pass. You need to put in your imong picture kay para makita sa checkpoints. Do na tay control number. This is signed by me and signed by the administrator, the chief of staff, and we have specific points valid only for travel, specific points from where to where, and vice versa. So, ang cargo vehicle pass, mausad ni, which we issue, dunay validity period po. So, this is valid until, we can issue this on a 15-day basis, ang kaning cargo vehicle pass. I'd like to announce, as far as the skeletal workforce pass is concerned, those that were already previously issued, kay previously ni-submit naman ang atong mga government agencies, ang atong mga utilities, o ang uban pang mga kaning services nga allowed entry, valid pa to unto expiry. What to expiry, although dunay specific points kung asa ra siya, from what point to what point. That means, if you are given that skeletal workforce, you are from San Fernando, kay moari ka Cebu City, so ang imong validity of that pass is only gikan San Fernando to Cebu City back to San Fernando. So, you need not apply because there were already those that had been cleared and issued this skeletal workforce pass and the media pass that is still valid. Wa man to'y kuan. Kato na lang uban nga wala gyud pass, but that will have to be scrutinized because at what we are doing is to limit as much as we can the entry of those coming from Cebu City and going back to the province, or on the other hand, we are trying to limit those that are coming from our LGUs in the province, moari og syudad, ma-expose diri sa syudad, unya mobalik na pod, possibly becoming carriers themselves of the disease. So, we go back to where we were when we were very, very strict, and we did notice that during that time, the number of cases in the province was not that high, no? In fact, the figures that I got as of May 31, from March 23 until May 31, asa to akong papers gahapon, nagida. We had only, I believe, 162 cases in a space of a 69-day period. But when we eased up on the border restrictions from June 1st until June 23rd, I believe, or about, in a space of a 23-day period, we had already increased by 500 plus ni-increase ta by 500. Ang atong total nga cases in a 23-day period from June 1st until June 23, 589. So, of the total number of cases as of June 23rd pa niya, 751 cases. Ang kadtong cases nato before June 1st comprise at 162 comprises only 21% of the total. And ang na-added nga cases of 589, that comprises 78% of the total 751. So, obviously, there has been really a steady increase. Although our population is 3.2 million. So relatively, and this is the cumulative total, ha. Wa na to gi-account pa dire ang mga recoveries. But if you speak about increase, obviously ang ato gyud mas dako og rason nga ni saka ang atong cases sa province was when we eased up restrictions between Cebu City and the province.
For the record, it will take effect. It will take effect tomorrow.
12:01. 12:01.
26 or 27.
26. 12:01 midnight. Karong gabi 12:01 midnight. Friday. So this takes effect tonight. Right after midnight.
What about those katong mo necessity for dialysis and for other emergency needs, medical needs?
They are included, di ba? They have been taken account for in our executive order. So I shall repeat. Persons with pre-existing medical conditions that necessitate treatment in a medical facility, a certificate from the local chief executive of the LGU having jurisdiction over his or her residence must be secured, as well as a medical certificate. Those that are involved in accidents and medical emergencies may be accompanied by one member of the family or household and a driver. So, emergency naman na, di na sila magkuwagpas, ana. Okay, they might have figured in an accident, of course, it's imperative that they be attended to immediately. Now, I would like to announce that we are reinstituting, after a meeting with our Provincial Director, Colonel Mariano, and on the part of the military, si Colonel Borja, we are reinstituting the border restrictions in the barangays. I have signed this memorandum that shall be sent to all mayors of the municipalities and component cities and to our barangay captains. All barangay captains are required to implement controls on the borders delineating their respective barangays in order to limit the entry of persons thereto. To this end, only the following persons shall be allowed entry in their barangays. First, residents of the barangay concerned subject to existing health protocols of the local government unit. Second, locally stranded individuals subject to the health protocols of the LGU concerned. Third, overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, as mentioned in the memorandum dated June 4, 2020, herein attached as Annex A, may be subject to the health protocols of the local government unit. Where a quarantine is required, the OFW shall only be quarantined at his or her residence. Fourth, all other permitted persons granted unimpeded travel within the province of Cebu pursuant to existing IATF resolutions and executive orders of the governor. Yep.
We will give a copy of especially karon daw nga na deployment from other regions ng mga policemen. So we will give the copy of our EO to Cebu City kay na may uban gov na nagka-problema sa ilang entry to Cebu City despite nga gipakita nila ang kaning passes nga i-issue sa Cebu Provincial Government.
Yes, yes, of course. That is why we will need to coordinate very closely with the Cebu City Police Office, including, of course, General Ferro and General Angkan. They were present in the meeting yesterday where I had already stated that we had signed Executive Order 17-H, which, in the presence of Secretary Simato, which, again, instituted strict border controls between Cebu City and the rest of the province. So we shall provide them, as we have provided some of them gagahapon, of an Executive Order 17-H and a copy of the passes, provincial passes, para kahibaw sila.
Governor, why is it important to reinstitute the border restrictions in the barangay?
Because this helps us to monitor those that may wish to stow away. There are those that manage to slip through our checkpoints, and these persons are not amongst those that are allowed entry into the province of Cebu. So that there is a more personalized monitoring by our barangay personnel, officials and personnel. They themselves know who are their own residents. And if they see a new face, that is immediately reported. That was something that we had seen in the past. And by so doing, we were really able to very strictly impose the restrictions.
Well, just going back to the medical, na mga pre-medical conditions, pre-existing conditions, doon na ba tayo nga ibalik tong idea sa una nga pa-stay on the sa city ang mga dialysis patients?
I have already signed that EO, I think. In fact, some mayors have already taken that initiative, that some of the dialysis patients, either they housed there is a city or doon na tayo giklaro ato katong uban doon na ilang kaugalingon nga they needed to secure their own private vehicles, subject to, of course, to physical distancing. Unya ang mahimo na tong point to point, kung let's say dialysis patient ka from San Remigio, you are allowed to come here for treatment, but when you come back, kauban sa imong companion, you will have to be on house quarantine. You cannot go out.
When siya na-sign ang Gov?
Oh, I cannot remember. That was even before we had lifted the restrictions. So we will try to get a copy. That was prior to the easing up of our restrictions when Cebu City became GCQ as well. So when it became GCQ and GCQ ang province, we had eased up the restrictions. But we signed that because there was the previous concern about dialysis patients coming into the city, then, exposed, subject to exposure, and then going back. So we will remind all of our LGUs that the protocols that were already set in that executive order shall be revisited and enforced.
So, on the barangays na mga control points, we remember before the reason why you lifted that was because of abuses sa mga...
That's true. Thank you for bringing that up. Which is why, in this memorandum, we reinstituted the barangay border restrictions, but subject to these protocols. And so that locally stranded individuals, those that have been given clearance already in accordance with NTF guidelines, This LSI has already undergone the procedures, including a medical certificate or perhaps even has tested negative. in an RT-PCR test. So, and has already been confirmed by the local chief executive as in fact being a resident of that barangay. So, mao na ato nang gibutang nga they should be allowed to return to the barangay subject to the health protocols of the LGU concerned. Ang OFWs kay mao man to nga akong gipalift kay katong gisinggit-singgitan tong OFW dito sa Barangay Panalipan, Katmon, by one barangay official. So they should be, doon naman tayo memorandum ani dated June 4th. Doon na protocols po ani sa OFWs. Unya, we reiterated they should be allowed entry and as far as practicable, adto na sila diretso sa ilang balay. Kay total, gitest man gyud ni sila. They are already tested negative. Mas negative pa tong klaro kaysa kadaghanan dito sa barangay nga wa pa na test. And of course, all other permitted persons granted unimpeded travel within the province pursuant to IITF guidelines.
Ang katong sa mga BPOs po ko, balik po itong kinahanglan nila i-house diri sa city. Included sila sa mga kinahanglan balik i-house diri sa city ang kuan ng ilang mga employees.
We had to put our foot down there. BPOs, kung naa-dire, then they'll have to house them. Dili na pwede nga, muari dire uli. If you can see, they're not included in our exempted list of exempted persons. So, the BPOs will have nga di-adire, like for example na as IT Park, ug hain pa ning uban nila nga mga call centers o business process outsourcing offices, they have to look for accommodations para sa ilang mga employees or they can work from home.
Well, although ang atong border restrictions is just between province and Cebu City, other LGU, especially further north and further south, are cautioning sa ilang mga residents na coming from Mindanao and Lapu-Lapu. Katong mga gikan ng yun sa Mindanao kay part man siya sa province gapon, are they allowed to go back to the other towns?
Well, Mindanao is GCQ. Under IATF guidelines, they are allowed. This goes as well for LSIs. Locally stranded individuals in a GCQ zone are allowed to go home to a GCQ zone. Ang dili lang allowed ang diri sa Cebu City kay ECQ man eh. So maski pa Cebuano ka nga taga Oslob ka, dili ka karon kagawas kay ECQ man ka. Per Mayor Labella yesterday, there are allegedly 11,000 LSIs in Cebu City. That is according to their figures. So let me make that very clear. Naa namang gyud tay guidelines good on locally stranded individuals. And they are allowed, subject to existing procedures, to go home if it is GCQ to GCQ. So kung muna akong iklaro ha, kay tingay daghan, di amis Negros, di mo may panhiun Cebu, klaro ha. Cebu City ba na or gusto mo muuli dito sa Sambuan? Now, Negros Oriental is GCQ. Sambuan, being a part of the province of Cebu, is also GCQ. So it's GCQ to GCQ. Kuha lang mo sa necessary nga mga, first of all, certification sa barangay. Unya, sunod, magpa-testing ba mo or magkuha mo medical certificate sa health officer sa local government unit. Mangayo mo acceptance or confirmation gikan sa local chief executive sa Sambuan, for example, aron ma-issuehan mo og travel authority. Okay. Those are the steps.
Mga yun sila kinagawa ko, katong minimum pasa kami kapag traverse nila sa Cebu City. Kasi din na sila pa.
We will issue both. Ato na i-refine, no? Wa pa ni sila sakyan. So, kinahanglan sila transit. Hay na to inyong pass nga. Vehicle transit. Kani. Kinahanglan gini sila sakyan across. Unless magbaktas. So, magkuha gini sila, ani. Unya, doon na rabatay limitation sa validity. usually ang atong ihatag is only usara for 1 day ra. Kani sila nga mga nagtrabaho sa outside of Cebu City, kinahanglan mo traverse kay tuwa mo trabaho na pod in another LGU outside of Cebu City. Kindly arrange with your companies nga makuha mo o company vehicle. Kaya unsa man yung sakyan kung ari mo Cebu City wa may public transport. So I cannot imagine how they can traverse or kung mo sakripisyo pa na sila padayon og baktas right across kay di man may mo issue og tawra nga aron mo baktas ka di man ka ma-monitored good. How do you know nitago niya kas kalibunan kay di ara ka nga Cebu City. So kadto hinuong sakyan nila sa ngadto sa border ani nga mga empleyado, for example lang talisay nga mga empleyado o kompanya nga diya sa Mandawi o GCQ to GCQ. Ang first na kong pangutana doon na ba'y i-provide nga company vehicle transportation nila kay mo apply dire aron maisyuhan na mo. Okay, maisyuhan na mo og transit, meaning passing through ra gyud na. I had to convince ang atong mga sa IATF nga we did issue this before because ang ila magud gitan-aw watay mahimo kay naa ang Cebu City sa sentro nya moagi kinanglan moagi ingko pwede man moagi pero with very strict checkpoints makit-an mang sakyanan. You're only allowed to from one point to one point from another point. Dili mo pwede mohunong kantinta ang among gi-issue transit vehicle nya klarohon na nato no from what point to what point. From di ba na pwede nga na-stop over nga to sa Landers or stop over nga to sa SNR. Kay ang purpose ana ang pag-ferry ra man gyud sa mga empleyado gikan diri sa GCQ area like Talisay padung na ngadto sa outside of Cebu City. So they will have to apply.
Nasa na makana to, how about motor? Like na yung mga welders, na specific mo siya ato siya sa Lapu-Lapu, kaming Daluya, motor yung gamit. Welder.
Kinahanglan siya taga-diin man siya.
Hingla niya, magkabuk siya pa doon dito sa
Dili man na kada adlaw, di ba? So mangayo siya og 1 day pass. Doon naman tayo gi-issue nga mga 1 day passes para sa mga mekaniko. Doon ay trabahoon dito. Kinahanglan mo mo-coordinate with capital. Kay we will again put from what point to what point. Unya, valid only for a certain number of days or that day ra. Pa. I'm sure daghang kay pangutana. Wa na? Klaro na na.
Another note ko, sa Talisay Gov, i-reach na sila sa 200 mark nila gahapon. And with this increase of, nakuyog po si Mayor Samsam gahapon sa inyong meetings IATF. Is it also possible, Gov, that the measures that are being undertaken in Cebu City will also be seen soon in Talisay? Or
let me tell you what I asked of Secretary Simato and all the rest that were present in that meeting. Diha man sad si Mayor Samsam ato. When I said nga mo impose na ta og border control balik, striktohon na natog maayo na. I asked for the next 2 weeks, no? To see if there would be an improvement in the numbers. So ni hangyo ko kung mahimo ato ni usa obserbahan nga ibalik nato ang very strict border control kung mo improve, meaning ang rate of increase of positive numbers will reduce after 2 weeks, then it would show nga effective ang atong border control. And most probably, hopefully, dili na kinahanglan nga i-impose ang a more kanang stringent nga classification not just for Talisay including Milanilla or even Consolacion. So, not just in the increase of positives, but also tanang sa nato kay namo pud tay mga protocol set, no, in the contact tracing, monitoring. So tan-aon sa nato og ang mga recoveries nato kung mas mas accurately accounted for para mahibaw ta og pila gyud atong positive cases pud, maintaining, no, the safety of our people, but at the same time realizing this has already stretched for more than 4 months. Unya daghan na gyud kaayo ang naglisod ron kay way mga trabaho. Dili lang kana ang kadtong ilang gitrabahoan nagsira na kay wa na say ikagasto. So we need to balance that. She is a doctor. Good morning, Gov. Garcia. I am a doctor serving companies who are still operating para kaning mga workers dire nga naay health-related concerns. Dili na mo adto og hospitals. Do I still need to get a vehicle pass and border pass? I'm a Cebu City resident going to Consolacion and Mandaue. Yes, you are exempted. And then she asked, she's exempted before, no? And then, karon lang, as I read, nibalik naman po ta, Dr. Rica Fort, nibalik naman po ta sa atong stricter nga border controls. If you are from Cebu City and you need to go to Consolacion and other, kindly request for a pass from here or a certification from the hospital. Pwede ra o mga ikag certification from the hospital unya PRC license ra nimo imong ipakita. Are doctors residing in Cebu City still allowed to go to Consolacion and back to Cebu City? As I read it, for our medical personnel, most especially mga doctors, kindly get private and government doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals their PRC license and a hospital identification card or certification from a hospital shall be presented at checkpoints. So I hope this answers the questions of doctors that are residing in Cebu City. Okay, Mikey has gills. People are asking, what if the case is worker living in Consolacion or Liloan but working in Lapu-Lapu City? What is the protocol? That's GCQ to GCQ, so that's no question about that. Wala nang gi-appeal sa atong kuana. In fact, gina-appeal dire, but we already previously discussed with Attorney Saison sa Lapu-Lapu City. We cannot impose, and we shall not be imposing the same restrictions between Lapu-Lapu City and Cordova because both are GCQ. However, pwede ra na masabot ni Mayor Teche o ni Mayor Ahong. Okay?
Pwede ba additional questions from
Yeah, sige. Yeah, I'd like this all settled, ha? Para I don't want a lot of confusion tonight at midnight.
actually, tuloy nito, but I'll run down to 2 questions. Ang una is, what about kaning mga workers karon na nahulong na ang trabaho and then will go home na sa mga probinsya? And then ang ikaduha ko, na ipangutana dito, what if dito sa province niya as may flights, how do they pass through or inside processing?
We have a protocol for that. I think we already issued that under executive order, I cannot remember the number, maybe 16, on the domestic travel. So they need to present their ticket. They are in fact a passenger on this particular flight. So pwede ang driver o siya ra ang mo pass through. If they need one, they can get a transit vehicle pass diri sa capital. Next, sa tong usa?
Workers ko, na mahuli na.
Uli sila. That's why I gave them this time. Uli sila. They are not locally stranded individuals, ha. That's why I gave, wa na ko gidiretso. I announced it three nights. I announced this 3 nights ago, and then we gave them 48 hours. So they should have already made arrangements by now.
As bilang mi kay sa EO latest daw ni mo Gov, wala man na details ang mga ganit niya siya. Ilang company daw is a construction, delivering ready mixed concrete. Allowed ba daw sila during ECQ, and now ECQ allowed ba daw sila. Our company is located in Mindanao and Talisay City.
Asa man sila mo deliver?
I think mo cross na sila sa
Get a transit vehicle pass. Yeah. Allowed man as long as you get a vehicle pass. Transit.
nasa Gov. How about those daw Gov nga gikan sa province unya na scheduled flight unsa needed? Ay, sorry.
Get a transit vehicle pass. Unya, pagdala sa imong ticket, unya ang allowed is the driver ug ikaw. Dili nga usa ka barangay ang mo palarga nimo. Kung kaniadto mao to ang inyong naandan, dili na. Ikaw na lang passenger ug ang driver. That is under IATF guidelines also. A memorandum sent to all of our mayors adopting the DOH Memorandum number 2020-0258 on the revised implementation of the interim guidelines on COVID-19 testing. So, nianditan nandire, ang ato magod para di maglahi-lahi ang kada lungsod. Ang uban, i-lockdown tibok barangay, mo na i-contact trace. Ang uban, first generation. So, ato nila klaruhon. Ang uban, i-testing, i-swab, ang uban, dili i-swab. So, kinsa may i-swab, isa may i-isolate. So, it's all here, ang testing, ang contact tracing, what to do with symptomatic patients, ang asymptomatic patients, and these are all in accordance with the DOH Department Memorandum Circular number 2020-0258. Okay? Mao na ni nag-focus na lang ta sa first generation contacts in contact tracing, and then symptomatic patients should have priority in the testing. What are defined as symptomatic? They must have fever. Dili kay nito ang sipon sa imong ilong siponatic na ka. Symptomatic na ka. So, fever and cough or colds or sore throat. This is the DOH definition of symptomatic. That must be fever coupled with cough or colds or sore throat. And how to do the proper testing. It defines the isolation as well as when they shall be considered recovered. And let me read this. Suspect, probable, and confirmed COVID-19 patients who have clinically recovered and are no longer symptomatic and have completed a 14-day quarantine period can be discharged and tagged as recovered without RT-PCR, provided that a licensed medical doctor clears the patient. The medical doctor shall issue a medical certificate certifying that the patient has recovered. Ang mga asymptomatic na non-healthcare workers who are close contacts of confirmed or probable COVID-19 cases need to complete a 14-day quarantine reckoned from the date of last contact with the confirmed or probable COVID-19 case, either at a temporary treatment and monitoring facility or home quarantine if the home qualifies for treatment. So it's all here. Steam inhalation therapy has been cited in scientific journals to provide relief of respiratory symptoms such as nasal congestion and dry cough, symptoms that are experienced in COVID-19. Scientific journals also recommend judicious use, especially in children whose delicate skin are prone to scalding injuries from prolonged steam exposure. While we understand this initiative, we emphasize that this is just a part of other supportive measures that one may opt to do to relieve one's symptoms. And we don't have a quarrel with that, because if you would review all of our statements from the first time that we endorsed or encouraged steam inhalation, we have never, ever claimed that this is a cure for COVID-19. Because there's still no cure, isn't it? The medical field doesn't have a cure. This steam inhalation is part of the traditional and alternative healthcare allowed under Republic Act number 843, which states, an act creating the Philippine Institute of Traditional and Alternative Healthcare to accelerate the development of traditional and alternative healthcare in the Philippines, providing for a traditional and alternative healthcare development fund and for other purposes. So, we don't have a quarrel with them. While they do not wish that, ano nga yung statement? Steam inhalation does not kill the virus and may cause potential harm. We cannot in good conscience endorse its use as a preventive or curative measure. First, we take exception to a curative measure because I said this is not a cure. Other persons who may wish to avail of steam inhalation and they are asymptomatics, and if they believe that this will help them achieve well-being, we should not stop them because there's still the freedom of choice here. Of course, we are not trying to compete with doctors here. Once symptoms, and we have a very, I assure you, in the province of Cebu, we have very close monitoring from our barangay health workers to our RHUs, to our district and provincial hospitals for all influenza-like illness cases and all severe acute respiratory infections. And now I have even added now, no? We shall be procuring oximeters. It will be measuring your oxygen level. Okay. I was struck by the statement of one doctor in one meeting that we had. Si doctor with the 5 secretaries. In fact, Secretary Duque was there. Dr. Edgar Tan, that pioneered the total plasma technology to treat a patient in Cebu Doctors who was already intubated. This first patient was already intubated, and when they applied the total plasma nga kanang intervention coupled with the convalescent plasma, this patient recovered. The second patient did not even need, it was lisod na ginhawa, kinanglan na intubate, but they just applied katong total plasma nila nga intervention. And he did not need to be intubated. And I was struck by a statement that he said that this is supposed to be a disease that suddenly just sneaks up on you ba? Okay, one day you're still feeling good, and then suddenly you're finding it so hard to breathe already. So it is important that we measure the oxygen level of each person. We will be providing oximeters to all of our RHUs and all of our hospitals, so that once it falls below 90, then immediately they must be attended to, no? By a medical practitioner or even in the hospital. But as much as possible, Sad, we cannot be overwhelming the hospital system or the healthcare system here in the city. We will treat them dito sa probinsya, sa atong mga hospitals. So, going back to the statement, we don't have a quarrel. And I hope they will not quarrel with us here. Because I think insofar as steam inhalation is concerned, of course we must be very careful. We cannot just, allow boiling water to pour all over us. But I don't think I have heard of cases of getting scalded, unless you are careless, no? But on the other hand, if people who don't have symptoms at all, or people who would rather choose to subject themselves to that, because there are those that cannot afford to go to the hospital, I think this is still a democracy. Let us give people the freedom of choice. At the same time, and may I just emphasize, because the only beef they have with me is, what you can do instead of tuob is maintain physical distancing, wear mask, and maintain all health protocols. And if you would notice, Executive Order 17 emphasizes that, it adapts, because that is part of the IATF guidelines. Here, I have Executive Order number 17, and we have adopted the minimum mandatory safety or public health standards. Section 2, 2.1, wearing of face masks, reusable or face shields, or such other protective equipment in public or in workplaces. Availability of hand washing or sanitizing stations in places frequented by the public. Sanitizing, physical and social distancing. It's all here. Don't worry, it's part of my executive order. But if a person chooses that on top of all of this, he would want to do some steam inhalation for his own well-being, I do it. This is my own personal experience. I do it in the morning and in the afternoon, or in the evening when I go home. I notice that I sleep well. I missed it for about a day and a half. And for those 2 nights, it was difficult for me to go to sleep. Now that I've gone back to my old routine, kato, I missed it, I was so busy. But this one, I've gone back to my old routine. I had a very good night's sleep last night. And I have this general feeling of well-being. It's my personal experience. It may be different from one person to another. I am just sharing this because we're allowed to do that, can't we? Pwede naman, di ba? Di pa naman bawal, di ba? I was so happy with Secretary Eduardo Año himself shared that when he tested positive naman for COVID, although asymptomatic, he did the tuob. Di naman yan compulsory eh. Hindi, we are not requiring, it is encouraged. It's also part of my Executive Order 17, as part of our health regimen to boost the immune system. If you have a general feeling of well-being, your immune system is boosted. But that is only part of it, because we have included as well vitamin C, sunlight, healthy diet, get plenty of sleep, taking calamansi. It's all here as part of our health regimen. Boosting the immune system. Yeah, Section 9. So, let's not get too worked up about tuob. It's all a matter of choice. Ingress or entry into the province in the Talisay side only sa SRP. So, balik na po Serato ang sa Bulacau.
One entrance na.
One entrance na lang.
And sa Balamban ko, Rose Bowl.
Oo. Ang kuan ra katubang Trans Central.
Trans Central. Pero pwede makaagi via Trans Central sila ko. From Cebu City. Ang katong mga exempted.
Ang mga exempted, yes. But there's a border control sa Balamban. We are also instituting some border control. Kaya doon naman sa DI border shared between Consolacion and Cebu City. So, butangan na sa dito. Is our may nga mga bypass roads.
Ug maukadto ang mga balita sa Sugbo. Atangi sa sunod nga higayon ang lain na usab nga edisyon sa among paghatod kaninyo sa labing uwahing kalambuan gikan sa kagamhanan sa lalawigan sa Sugbo. Ug alang sa dugang updates, i-follow ang Sugbo News Facebook page. Kini si Paula Mendoza. Daghang salamat. Ug mabuhi ka Sugbo, mabuhi kitang tanang Sugboanon.